crazy 800-pound silverback bursting through the tree.
All right, guys, welcome back to Into the Roganverse. This is the 8th episode. Today's topic, Joe Rogan talking about corporate media and how they're misinforming people, and you know, it's just it's really evil, it's really bad, and they're lying to the public.
Because the distrust in the media is at an all-time high.
Joe Rogan always talks about mainstream media and how it's bad, but the subreddit reminds him that he is mainstream media. Look at this post here with 27k upvotes. This post is called 28 times the audience size of CNN. So here's the meme. I'm gonna read it to you guys. This is what it says. That's why the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about it, bro. And then the lane, this is a Seinfeld thing, is she says, "You are the mainstream media." And it's true, like, he does have a way bigger fan base, a way bigger audience than most of these networks, right? These news networks. He's constantly getting corrected, and he's spewing things that he's seen on Facebook, and it's usually his producer who's like, correcting him on certain things. His producer Jamie,
stop ruining our dreams.
I just want to.
You son of a bitch.
That was not seemingly real.
We're gonna get through some clips here that are highlighted. First clip I'm gonna show you is this one. This clip is called "Joe Rogan and His Clone Unironically Claim That the Old Liberal Boomers Are the Only People That Still Fall for Media Propaganda."
They're like, look, Dick Cheney.
There's nobody dive. It's like nobody actually has an opinion anymore. They're just told, they're just told, hey, this is what we're going with for the next 2 hours.
I wonder how long they can keep that up with the internet, because the distrust in the media is at an all-time high.
Like, yeah, I get that, Joe. Like, sometimes you can't trust the media, right? The mainstream media, but also you can't trust independent media, as they say, full-throated, right?
So Elon called me. As you know, he endorsed me full-throated.
Eventually they will get corrupted. Tim Pool, for example, he got paid by some Russian dudes, right?
You have these independent people that have become bigger than the media. That's never happened before. There's never been a thing where just an app that you get on your phone has 30 times more views than the top show at CNN.
Yeah.
That's never happened before. But now that's the world that we live in, and so propaganda is not effective anymore.
And we also seen that from like Joe Rogan's friend Elon Musk, right? Who's blatantly supporting Donald Trump right now. Here's Elon Musk shaking Donald Trump's hand with the most evil look, and also owns one of the biggest platforms in the world, which is X now,
And it's also the delivery method that they use. It sucks. They sit there with makeup on, with perfect clothes.
I think that point doesn't really matter, what you're wearing. Because you see Lex Friedman, your homie out there wearing a suit, right?
And they said, right now in Syria, and they start reading these things, and they're reading them off the teleprompter, and that person could be working at fucking Entertainment Tonight. They could be working at, any other show. They're just a talking head.
Yep.
They just, no one they know they're the mouthpiece for some giant corporation. No one thinks that's the real news anymore.
On podcasts and stuff, a lot of people won't care if you get some things wrong, or you say or you misspeak on certain things, right? It won't be such a big deal. But in the news, the people trust them to report things that are actually happening in the world, because it could affect them, right? There's some people that do depend on the news.
You have to be like old boomers who are like real tired, like those old liberal boomers. They're still like MSNBC to the death, like the Stephen Kings out there.
Yeah,
MSNBC to the death.
yeah. That's
Right.
what I would.
But that's also, Republicans too. There's these Republicans that are generational Republicans. My daddy was a Republican, and my daddy's daddy was a Republican, right? It goes both ways.
I was saying about the baby boomer generation. I mean, I think that the media will die if things continue just the way they are and the censorship doesn't get too bad. I think the media.
I don't think that's true, though. There's a lot of people, like I said, they still follow the media and they trust the media more than somebody that's independent, right? But since, the internet has kind of broadened their scope and kind of made them more legit to some people, and it could be a good thing, but it also could be a bad thing, right? For example, this clip here I'm about to show you, this was called "The State of the Union Wasn't Live." So here Joe Rogan tells this guy Michael Malice, who's a comedian, that the reason why they say it's not live is because they say that Joe Biden is too old and they have to kind of like prep him, and you know, some part of that is true, right?
Debate history. Paul Ryan, who was no dummy, he was very good against him. He was very good against Sarah Palin in 08. He was good against Trump in 2020. Like, they're just gonna nuke him. That's what they thought, I think.
Interesting. I don't think so.
You think Jill set him up to fail?
No, I think she's probably delusional, like that guy with the
That's
shit
what I'm
in
saying.
his face.
She's delusional.
She is.
Yes.
But I think the people behind the scenes knew exactly what was going to happen.
I don't think that was. I think if they had a debate again, it's not 100% that it would be that bad again.
So yeah, they're talking about the debate and how bad it went and how Biden like kind of short-circuiting on the debate stage against Trump and clearly kind of lost because of the way he looked, right? He did not look good and he looked very much like the Crypt Keeper, you know, so.
That's interesting.
Because again, look at the State of the Union. Like, sometimes he's bad, but not that bad.
But I think, right. But the State of the Union was not live. And
Yes, it was.
No. Did you see that they found out that it wasn't? That they looked at his watch, and his watch
Wait,
was...
no.
Yeah. Do a State of the Union analysis, Biden's watch.
No way.
Yeah, someone zoomed in on his watch, and his watch was the wrong time.
Dude's got a boomer brain, right? He can't tell sometimes what's real or what's fake. And even Michael's like, bro, that's real. People were there live. What are you saying?
How could that even be?
Well, it could be he's blind. You can't see what
But
time his
all the
fucking
networks
watch
on
is.
it?
I don't know what they knew. How do you know what they knew? You just you get a feed. You know?
I don't think all the Republicans would agree to it too.
Who
'Cause they're
knows
all
what
there.
they knew? They're all there live while
Yeah.
he's doing it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
You got Mike Johnson behind you. You got them all in the audience crossing their hands when they don't like what you say. It's got to be live.
Yeah, it was live, and it got proven to be live.
No, President Biden's Oval Office address wasn't pre-recorded. A fake
No, that's the
image with
Oval
the
Office,
wrong
not the State
time
of the
floating
Union.
around. Yeah, there is a fake image. They got me, these sons of bitches. It's just amazing how much stuff is fake.
You know, but the thing is that Joe wants this narrative to be true, and he wants to be like, see, guys, I was right. I told you guys. Joe Biden is a freaking zombie, right? Let's go to another clip. This clip is called Jesus. It's like reading Ian Miles Chong's Twitter feed.
Here's the big one, right? She wasn't elected, right? She was appointed vice president, and then they didn't do primaries. They had no primaries for Joe Biden, and now all of a sudden she is the nominee because he's stepping away. And so then they bring in her, and they bring in this other guy who's radical from Minnesota. That's the vice president, who he believes a lot of wild things. One of them is transgender surgery for people who are under 13.
That's not true, guys. That's misinformation. I don't know where he's getting that information from. They're trying to put Tim Walz in a negative light because a lot of people do like Tim Walz more so than JD Vance. And the polls show that a lot of people really like that guy for being very, very pro-union, pro-worker.
Another one is abortion up until 9 months.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
that is not true. That's another thing that Republicans spread.
Stuff scares the fuck out of people. He changed the Minnesota state flag to make it look like a Somali flag. Yeah.
Oh.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Yeah. Show that video. So the video of him taking down the Minnesota flag and he replaced it with the new flag that looks a lot like the Somali flag.
Wow.
Turn the volume up, please.
The thing about Minnesota, there are a lot of Somali refugees, and it's one of these things that the right tries to spread and say that they want white people to be replaced by all these immigrants, and it's a lot of fear mongering, right? Like, look at how many flags there are in the world. A lot of them look alike, right?
So you hear him say that?
All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute.
So he gets the flag, picks it up, moves it out of the way, and replaces it. Look at this.
There, that's better.
Why is that better?
I don't know.
Why do you care what the flag looks like? First of all,
Why do you care, Joe? It goes both ways, brother. If you guys see the Somali flag, it doesn't look like that. Yeah, sure, it's blue, but also the Minnesota flag was blue too. They just kind of simplified it. I'll say that it does look worse. Like the design, I don't like.
and why do you get to change the flag? How crazy is that the governor gets to change the flag? Like, who else is involved in that decision to change the flag?
I was gonna ask, is that what happened?
I don't know.
Usually, it's a big event. They let people pick. There's
Right. No,
voting
we have a
on it,
bunch of people
pick,
that's a high population of Somalis in your state. I would imagine they would want to try to get that flag a little closer to home.
Yeah.
You're kind of saying that all these Somalis overrun the people that are native to that place, right? The minority of them, you think they're going to be able to have the voting power to change the flag? No, it was pretty much, the whole general population of Minnesota voting for it. And that's what you got. So that's just like another kind of dumb narrative there. All right, let's go to the next clip. This clip is called Joe and the latest guest unironically discuss media echo chambers and grifting thoughts.
This stuff was ridiculous. Like, these people, if that's all you think about and that's all you like, I have friends that live in California, and every now and then I'll talk to them and some politics issue will come up. And they give me this fucking CNBC, they give me this MSNBC, this fucking propaganda viewpoint on something that's so wrong. And I just go, okay, I can't. Like, you're in your bubble. There's
Dude lives in the same bubble, right? He's always getting these right-wing guys talking to them. Like, how many, left-wing guys has Joe talked to recently? Not a lot. And usually he doesn't want that because they'll kind of fact check them and they kind of correct them and they'll kind of like derail the show, right?
there's no real discourse. Yeah. There's no real there's no discussions about whether or not what these people are saying is correct. It's just, you're a part of this tribe and this is what you believe. And I think that's the case with these anti-racist people too. They might not, some of them might be like just hardcore grifters. Like, they could be playing 3-card monte, or they could just get corporations to give them money by saying that everybody's racist. There's some people that are definitely like that. But
look, to that point, dude, like a lot of these people that you have brought over, just for example, like Tim Pool, right? Tim Pool was going in at the Twitter CEO and his lawyer for Russians kind of trying to push a certain narrative. And now we see that Tim Pool, we find out that, later on Tim Pool is taking money from the Russians. How funny is that, right? Some of these guys that you've had on the show, they're being funded by like billionaires. Like, look at the Daily Wire. They're not really independent.
But there's other people that are just, that's their friend group. Like, that's their social circle. Their social circles, all people believe this stupid shit. And they all yap it to each other, and they say it like it's a mantra, and they pray 5 times a day with it. It's really like a religious thing.
I think it is like I think you're exactly right about that. I mean, that's why for me, the grifters that are getting paid, that's not that complicated to figure out why they're doing it. Like, they're getting paid.
A lot of them.
A lot of them are. And even when they're not, there's still power and influence, and they're being consulted as kind of these moral gurus, which is very.
Well, how funny is that, right? Because we have Tim Pool, one of the biggest dudes in right-wing media. Well, he doesn't like saying he's right-wing, right? He's more a free-thinking guy, independent guy. And now we see that he's getting paid by these Russians. But once it comes down to them and then they get exposed, it's like, oh, no, we didn't even know. It's like, we're the victims here. Like, you're rich victims. That's what it is. Here's a small little snippet of Tim Pool talking to Jack Dorsey and his lawyer about how, there's Russian interference happening. You guys are trying to fix that or what? So here's a little clip here, right?
I recognize you're a company that serves the world, but as an American, I have a concern that the democracy I live in, the Democratic Republic, and the democratic functions are healthy. One of the biggest threats is, Russia, Iran, China. They're trying to meddle in our elections using your platform, and it's effective. So, and removed many people.
Yeah, look, it's happened. We know that the Russians have done that prior elections. They want to create chaos and discourse amongst the people in the U.S. and, you know, fight your neighbors and all that BS. But then he gets caught with several other people that are like him, and they have the same talking points and narratives. And all of a sudden they say like, no, we didn't really mean to do that.
So the Justice Department released an indictment. 2 Russian nationals were named in this indictment. And it says that right-wing commentators, and they are referred to by as commentator 1, 2, 3, etc. But it's been people have been easily able to discern who is who
based on how many subscribers.
Based on their subscribers, right? So this is, I mean, the indictment here you can see is laid out where 2 Russian nationals, apparently, according to the DOJ, were responsible for an operation, an influence operation, where they laundered money through a company called Tenet, which is based in Tennessee, and spent nearly $10 million on efforts to influence public opinion by paying right-wing commentators to basically blame Ukraine and not Russia for Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine. And the people who are named in this are not named, but you can easily discern it, and media outlets are Tim Pool, Dave Rubin.
Just to name 2
Benny Johnson.
here.
Benny Johnson, yeah.
One of Founder 2 also worked together to deceive 2 U.S. online commentators.
How funny is that? Because, they're trying to spread misinformation, and they're trying to make Ukraine look like the bad guy, right? And here's a clip of Tim Pool doing the exact same thing that they talked about there, trying to say that Ukraine is a problem. They're actually the ones that are being evil. Here's a clip here.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war.
Oh, also that cha-ching noise.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country.
Has been edited in there. That's not part of the original video.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know you've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
There you go, right? They want to make Ukraine look as bad as they can. This narrative here, like, it's blatantly favoring the Russians here, right? Take a look at how at first he was like, yeah, we got to be careful and not spread misinformation. And all of a sudden he's like, Russia's the hero of this story. The Ukrainians are the evil ones, right? Here's some posts making fun of Tim Pool on the subreddit. As you guys know, Tim Pool always be wearing a beanie. And somebody, I don't know, maybe they probably digitally took off his beanie. This is what he's been hiding this whole time. Just go with it, man. Or maybe you go to Turkey with all that Russian money you got. You can get some plugs. Here's another one. Will Rogan address Tim Pool being funded by the Russians? I highly doubt that. He's a little meme. Who Tim Pool fans thought he was. Who Tim Pool's allegedly is with I don't know what it's called, the Russian hat, right? So yeah, there we have that sort of contradiction. All right, guys, so let's get to another clip. This one's called Rogan Gets Fact-Checked Twice While Spreading Misinformation.
Wild thing to say. It's such a wild thing to say. And it's such a wild thing to do, like a supervillain in a Batman movie. Like some billionaire guy who likes to hire the most progressive district attorneys that's going to let people out of jail and then fund the next person who's more to the left of that person and just keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep pushing it until you get tents everywhere, violence in the streets.
And those are the Democrats that want that, because we've been recently seeing these freaking Republicans been taking this foreign money, right?
He's done a damn good job.
How come there's no right-wing guys like that to do it the other direction?
I always wonder that too.
I always wonder that. Well, it's also like if you look at the amount of donors that donate to the left versus donate to the right. Have you ever seen that chart?
No.
It's fucking nuts. The left gets so many more donations than the right does. Like, it's a giant difference.
See, that I already know that that's not true, bro. I know they always say George Soros is funding all the Democrats, bro. It's like he's got all this unlimited money. And I just showed you a couple clips earlier about Tim Pool taking money from Russians.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, man. I think a lot of rich people feel guilty, and they get into philanthropy, and it also is a good way to cover their ass and make them look like better people. And the people that really go after you, if they don't think you're a good person, are generally the left. So if you could like throw them a little cheddar, you're like,
I wonder,
bro. Republicans are always trying to control what you want to do in life, how you want to have sex, what do you want to watch. It's like, bro, they're the ones that are always so controlling and want to control all the freaking people. And then they're always saying, oh, small government. Bro, you want people to be controlled by the government.
I wonder if they're buying their place outside of the rules. Like, hey, I donated your thing. You know, I don't have to live by these fucking rules.
Got to be a little bit of that in there, you know? What do you got,
shows
Jamie?
the top donors to opensecrets.org. 6 of the top 7 are Republicans.
Oh,
individual
interesting.
donors.
Individual donors. What I was talking about.
Oh, interesting. So he saw the chart. I'll show you the chart right now. So here's the chart. They put it out there.
I think a lot of rich people feel guilty, and they get into philanthropy. What do you got,
shows
Jamie?
the top donors to opensecrets.org. 6 of the top 7 are Republicans.
Oh,
individual donors.
Individual donors. What I was talking about was
a lot of these donors that make the most money are Republicans. So, oops, it kind of goes against, what you're saying, Joe.
6 of the top 7 are Republicans.
Oh,
individual donors.
Individual donors. What I was talking about was like they showed a chart that had like Google, Facebook, all these mega corporations that were donating. So this is like individual donors. Yeah. Wow, some guys donated $105 million. Wow. But
and that's a Republican there. All this is red, so it's Republicans that make the most contributions, right? And it's not usually like grassroots, like how they say, or like, from regular people. It's PACs, like they're getting funded by corporate donors.
That's probably worth billions. That's probably some sort of a write-off too, isn't it? That's pretty crazy. Go to top corporation donations via party, because that's the chart that I was looking for. It's just nuts to see how much money overall is being spent to push the Democratic Party. It's pretty extreme. This is the number one. This is corporations. So they donate more than Google.
So like, it shows again, all these are corporations that support the Republicans, right? And from 1 to 4, they're all leaning Republican. So Joe, damn, that sucks, bro.
There's organizations, federal contributions.
So 82 million is the top one, and that's Empower Parents, PAC, and these are right wing. Is that why it's red?
I'd assume so.
So it seems like the top 4. Why? What is that Google chart that I was saying? And I don't even see Google on this.
So there you have it. Another failed attempt to make the Democrats seem like the more greedy guys, and they're greedy. I'm not gonna say they're not. Some of them get a lot of money, but statistically, the Republicans are the ones that get funded the most, right, by anybody else. Let's go to another clip. This clip is called Joe claiming the most popular name in Ireland is Muhammed. Now, funny enough, it's not.
Like, how many Muslim kids are named Muhammad? A lot. It was like the #1 name for boys in Ireland like a couple of years ago.
Muhammad?
But yeah, Muhammad. It freaked people out. They're like, what?
Actually, the most popular name in Ireland is here it is. It's Jack. And then for the girl name is Grace. Now, it seems like where he got this platfrom, like how he got Muhammed, like it's like the most popular name in Ireland, is because this city, Galway City, has the most people named Muhammad there. Yeah, I don't know where he got that. I was just trying to show that to kind of make fun of him there. All right, guys, so let's kind of end this on a good note. This clip is called Joe, It's Happening. So context here is Joe Rogan a while back pretty much said, like, there's no way Kamala is gonna be president. She's gonna run for president.
There's no way that lady's a heartbeat away from the president.
Looks like it happened, and he was wrong. But hey, you know, people make mistakes. Let's look at this clip.
There's no way that lady's a heartbeat away from the president. There's no way. There's no way someone is not telling her to stop saying that same thing over and over again. What can be unburdened by what has been? Like, she just says it over and over and over again. This isn't real.
Hey, never say never, man. Like I said, let's end this on a good note. And this is where Joe actually gives Kamala Harris props for doing a good debate against Trump. And a lot of people got mad about this. You know, a lot of the right side of Joe Rogan did not like him patting Kamala Harris on the back here for obviously just destroying Trump and making him look like a fool. Let's look at this clip. It's called Joe Rogan Giving Credit Where Credit Is Due.
Let me tell you, before I say anything, I just want to say, whoever's helping her, whoever's coaching her, whoever's the puppet master running the strings, you did a fucking amazing job.
She did a great job.
They did an amazing job from the moment Biden drops out, forcing Biden to drop out. Right, whatever they're doing, whoever's writing those speeches, getting her to deliver them, coaching her, she's nailing it.
After the whole debate thing with Trump, it just kind of seemed clear to him and his whole team that, hey, bro, you're not gonna win this election. It looks like you're not gonna win this. So how about you just put in somebody else?
She nailed that one speech. She's like, "Say it to my face."
Oh yeah,
everybody's cheering.
Yeah, she nailed it, dude.
And then last night, to me, when I was like, "Oh my god, this is jujitsu," where she's like, "If you go,"
he's like, "Oh my god, he's hurt. Trump's hurt." after Kamala was like, "Your rallies suck."
You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
Go to his rallies, his crowds are boring, they're tired,
They're
they
all
all
leaving
leave.
early.
My crowds are the best crowds.
Oh,
I have the number one
yeah.
crowd. He couldn't help himself.
And she got him. She baited him on that. She walked him right into it.
100%. 100%. See, the difference in that debate was,
and it was so easy to bait Trump. Honestly, look how easily. It was just like, just talking about his rallies, how they're leaving. And he was like, hey, before anything else, let me tell you that my crowd, I have the biggest crowds, right? He just kept going and talking about it. And he had to, say that she's lying. The people love me and people are actually not leaving.
On that point, I want to get your response.
Well, I would like to respond.
Let me just ask, though, why did you try to kill that bill, and successfully so? That would have put thousands of additional agents and officers on the border.
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there, and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies in the history of politics.
not a difference in like who's going to have better policies, who's going to be better for the country. The difference in the debate, in my opinion, was who was better prepared. She was way better prepared.
Yeah.
And even when it came to answering tough questions, instead of answering, she would just say things that she believes.
Yeah, sure.
And they sounded real good.
Yeah,
and that's the soundbite.
That's called being a savvy politician.
It's also called being someone who's working with a team versus someone who's like,
I think Kamala did answer more questions from the moderators than Trump ever did. Trump never really said anything about anything. He never put his position down on anything. It just obviously was like a disaster for Trump because he never gave any clear answer there to anything, because he was just kind of going off tangent because he was pissed off, like I think almost halfway into the debate.
They said, Trump, that deal was the best deal. They've never seen a deal like this before. They said, how did you put that deal together?
People thought that was just brilliant. Yeah, I know. He's like,
that's he's not working with a team that's like, I mean, I know he's doing like mock debates. I know he did one with, I think he did one with Tulsi Gabbard, but.
And then they say like, oh, Tulsi Gabbard, he's being trained by her because Tulsi beat her during the 20-something election. They got Tulsi to help Trump debate, but obviously it did not show at all because he just kept doing the same thing that he always does.
Someone needs to like tell him like you've got these tiny little windows and you should have all the words ready for those windows.
He started
there should
out
be no repeating things.
Yeah, he started out.
Yeah, that's also another problem that Trump does. He's always very repetitive, recycles everything, says things twice, and inflates things, and never really says what he's gonna do. Like one of the biggest things that he said, because they asked him about, oh, you know, what are you gonna do about Obamacare? Because you like for the past 4 years you've been saying that you're gonna change it. And he basically said like, oh, I have a concept.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if...
For 4 years, bro, 4 years, like, and then another 8 years, you still haven't created anything? And that's kind of like everything with Trump, right? He just doesn't really say what he's going to do. He's going to say, I'm just going to make it better.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs.
Guys, I think this is where I'm going to end this here. I hope you liked all these clips that I showed you. I know some of you did not probably reach to the end because y'all some snowflakes, but for the ones that did, I appreciate it. Hit a like, hit a subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this episode. And I see you guys for another one. Bye-bye.